Hey moms, welcome to the Gather Moms podcast. My name is Kate.
And I'm Rebecca. We've created this space just for you because we're both moms and we get you.
Yes, we believe there truly ain't no hood like the motherhood, and we need to be in this together. We also believe we can't mom well without Jesus, so you're going to hear us talk about him too.
Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Gather Moms and make sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss a single episode.
All right, mamas, let's jump in. Hey mamas, welcome to episode 6 of season 1, where we are talking about all things pandemic.
Woo, we love the pandemic. Oh, just kidding, we don't.
No, we love the podcast. We're talking about things. We're having so much fun.
We are.
Hey, seriously, you guys, this is not what I wrote for my intro. But it honestly means the world to us when you like message or, you may think, I don't know, that your comment may not mean, it means the world.
We text each other and we're like, oh my gosh, look what they said.
Yes.
They like us.
It means so much. When you leave a review, on Apple or whatever, it means so much. So anyway, thank you guys. But so we're here, season 1, talking about the pandemic, which I have started calling the Pandy because of Haley, our vibe curator.
Ooh, such a trendy.
Yes, you guys,
title.
We have people on the Gather team, and we have one we've entitled,
lovingly entitled,
Vibe Curator, and she calls it the Pandy.
Does she?
Yes.
Oh, I haven't caught that.
She calls it the Pandy. So what I think is interesting, because I honestly, it kind of takes the sting out of the term, because I feel like people right now are using pandemic a lot. Like that's become the term.
That's the news, like when you hear stories on the pandemic.
Right?
Yes.
I'm curious what you call it right now. Like what do you most refer to it as?
I think I call it Corona.
Do you?
I do. I really just think I say Corona every time.
Not COVID.
No, I don't say COVID. I really think I just call it the Corona.
Do you call it the Rona?
No. That's so funny. I was raised in a bubble, and I don't know, I wasn't used to calling things by trendy fun names. So I just used the term for it. So I guess that's why I say Corona.
Okay, because I think I called it the Rona.
Oh, for sure. You were the first person I heard call it the Rona. Yes.
But it kind of helped. It was the same thing. Kind of helped.
I feel like that's a
girl.
I feel like when you say the Rona, it's like a girl. It's like she's my friend.
Hey,
I feel
Rona.
Like
it's like a dance move.
How are you, Rona?
Yeah.
And when you say Pandy,
let's do the Rona.
I feel like it's an animal at the zoo. I'm not kidding. Like those are the visual images that come to mind.
Well, okay. Language matters a lot to me. Words matter.
Oh, people, just read our show notes. I have got some excellent verbiage from Kate Henderson in the show notes of all the words that she uses on our podcast.
I love words. Words have so much meaning for me. And so I can't call it COVID. Like, I feel like that makes me want to vomit. And calling it, even the pandemic is like, sometimes you have to because you're talking about something kind of clinical or whatever.
Yes.
But then I got tired of calling it the Rona because I'm like, it's not cute anymore.
That's right. I'm telling you, she's like your girlfriend.
Yes.
Like you want to go get coffee with her and then you're like, no, I really don't.
No, we're breaking up.
We're breaking up.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm not texting you back. We're done.
So now it's the Pandy.
When Haley started calling it the Pandy, I was like, okay, I'm going to start workshopping that. So I think I can get behind the Pandy. That's where we're going for right now.
How about I try it this week?
Try
calling it the Pandy
Use
this
it
week.
in a sentence. You can do it.
Okay.
So we are coming to the end of summer.
I feel like singing the Olaf song. Summer, right?
In summer.
Oh, see, I
now
sang in the
I'm
last
singing.
episode and you're singing.
He does love summer.
He does.
Cutie
He loves
little
summer.
Olaf.
No, girl, I just need cooler weather. So anything that's end of summer, meaning temperatures potentially go down, I'm in. Like, bring it right now. Right now.
So this has been like the craziest summer on record ever in my existence of like what summer is. Because summer, like when you think about summer, don't think about the summer 2020.
Mm-mm.
But normally when you think about summer, like what visions come to your mind?
Lots of sunscreen.
Yeah.
Sleeping late, no alarm.
Uh-huh.
Watching too much TV.
Uh-huh. The pool. Going to the pool, going to the beach.
See, I have a love-hate relationship with the pool, I'm not going to lie. It just takes a whole lot of work to get my people out the door to the pool.
Gosh,
okay?
Yeah.
It just does.
Yeah, I think we like romanticize it, and then it's time to go, and you're like,
No.
stay still, close your eyes, get the sunscreen on. They're screaming.
And then when my children get sunburned, I feel like it's an actual personal attack on me as their mother that I did not do a good enough job placing all the sunscreen on
it's
them.
a walking billboard that you screwed up.
Exactly. It really is.
Yeah.
People are like, oh, you let your kid get sunburned.
Yeah. Yes.
They're judging.
Yes. Okay, so I feel like we did try this summer to like have some kind of a summer for the kids, even in the middle of craziness. For me, summer in the Pandy. For me, summer signifies trips.
Oh, yes.
Right?
Yes.
Like little vacations.
Yes.
Summer is summer vacation. You know, you go on vacations. But we are in Quarantinea, lockdown.
See, that signifies to me Zorro, like the movie Zorro, Quarantinea. I feel it. I have all the visual
I can't say
images.
quarantine. That hurts me a little bit too. So I have to put a nya on it just to make it a little spicier, you know, a little more fun. Quarantinea. So, you know, we both tried to have trips.
We did.
And
Yes.
tell me, what did you guys do?
We went it was in June. So it was actually, I remember thinking to myself, because we had done the stay home from school and it was like, oh my goodness. But we all kind of thought, I think, that by summer it'd be back to normal.
That was the time.
And then we started to figure out that it was not. Like we were in this for the long haul. And I had this fear that we would not get to go to San Antonio. We go to San Antonio every year on vacation. It's like a really just fun, quick getaway. And it was just like, oh, please, please let us go to San Antonio. And then we did get to go. And honestly, I'm not going to lie, there was nobody there.
You told me that, and I think
The pool was empty at this
that is
hotel.
my dream.
It was a dream.
Yeah.
We got to ride all the rides and have all the beach chairs and didn't have to like stake anything
Did you ever
out.
think to yourself, am I the dumb one? Or are they the
No, I actually never thought that. I thought we are so smart to have done this because look, we are here by ourselves. It was awesome.
Because it makes me think like, okay, if everybody else isn't here, do they know something I don't know?
No. I kind of feel like we had the sweet spot. We had that in between of like, oh my goodness, it's a pandemic. Everybody's going to die.
Yeah.
And the nobody really knows that yet. So everything's still free and we can go be by ourselves. And so I don't think we're there anymore.
Okay, so tell me this. Were there like accommodations because of the Pandy? Like, did you have to wear masks?
Yes,
was
we
the
had to wear
restaurant
masks.
open?
Y'all, and this is what's so funny. There was no towel service at the hotel. They weren't going to come in and clean your room because I don't think they wanted their people to maybe be exposed to it
Get your
multiple
Rona.
times.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't know that for the first couple of days we were at this hotel. So, like, you know, we run out of towels.
Right.
And I'm thinking we're going to get some new ones.
You're not trying to do the green where you rehang your towel. Y'all are like earth. You're taking a hit.
I love the environment, but I need a fresh towel.
Okay.
When I spent the money to go to a hotel, I need you to bring me a fresh towel every time.
Yes.
Every time. Even
Okay.
if I shower twice a day, I'm going to need one in the morning and one at night. I'm going to need it.
It's very
So,
extravagant, Rebecca.
I didn't know that. And we throw our towels on the floor.
Yeah.
Oh, that's probably bad. But we throw our towels on the floor. when we're
I
done.
saw you just
Yes.
check yourself. No, that's fine.
So we do that, but and we kept calling asking for towels, and bless their hearts, they kept saying, "Well, of course we'll bring you some." But nobody did. So no lie. Greg had to leave our hotel room and go on the hunt for the cart, like the lady with the cart that walks down the hallways to clean rooms.
What did you do with all of your wet ones that were piling up
They
on the
just
floor?
stayed in our room. They didn't come get them. No, they didn't come get them.
Hilarious.
So by
I
the
would've
end of
never
the
thought
time,
about this.
huge pile. But we had to go find the lady with the cart and then like beg her for towels.
Wow.
Please give us towels. And then the next time we knew, just gotta, if you see that cart lady
Yeah.
walking back up to your room, girl, just
Snag
stop
some
right
towels.
there and just get some. Like
Yeah.
we'll just get some extra. But no,
Y'all
they
are like the
didn't.
only people in the hotel. I'm so shocked they couldn't just like come in.
Okay, this is what I'm thinking too. But you know, I didn't want to judge. I was like, we're just really grateful to be here right now.
yeah.
So we don't want to call too much attention to ourselves.
Oh my gosh, what you are saying is so the mindset. Oh my, we could do a whole podcast on what you're saying. Okay. Sorry, keep going.
So that was the only thing is the towels. Other than that, we did have to wear our masks, and that was, you know, it was kind of early in mask wearing, so it was still a little fun.
Yeah.
It
Wasn't
fine.
the epic beatdown that it is now.
No, it wasn't as hot. It really wasn't because it was in
right.
June.
Right.
So I really am telling you, we had just a sweet spot for our family vacay this summer, and then that's it. We out.
I love that. That
Yes.
thrills me to no end. Because for us, so if you've been around Gather for a minute, God has made me tell other moms that I get the blues in the summer.
Yes. She's wearing a blue shirt today too. I feel like she did it
Yes.
to inspire herself.
I don't love talking about depression, but you know, that is something that God is helping me through. And so one of the things, so I get in the summer. I get triggered with that because I feel like we get trapped in the house for a long time. And then,
oh my goodness,
gosh,
the Pandy is like the worst possible scenario for
it's
you.
like putting 20 on 10 on the whole situation. And so I knew I needed little trips, you know. So we went to Galveston for a few days, and that was basically fine. But it was like, you know, you can't find beach stuff,
right?
Because everybody has it because people are going to the beach because that's one of the only things you can do. You can't rent it. You know, normally, like if you go to the beach, you could pay the little guy.
Yes.
Or
bring
equal opportunity
chair,
lady.
Oh,
you know.
Oh, of course. Yes. Yes.
Just so that you don't have to bring, they've got it. You just pay them, you know, there's an umbrella. So that's not there. There's just various things that were just stuff that we had to think through, but it was fine. We had a good little trip at the beach. And then
so many people have gone to Galveston. If you live in Texas, if you're a listener from Texas, I'm like, I feel like everybody went to Galveston this year. I feel like Galveston was like, score, Pandy is totally helping us out. Everybody coming.
They are. And it's the trash death
She
beach.
did not just say that, y'all. I'm so sorry. Because there are those of our listeners out there that they love Galveston, Kate.
We have a very dear friend that loves Galveston, but you guys, it's just brown.
It's brown, yes.
Okay, it's fine.
When I think Galveston, I think brown.
Right. It's just not like, I just feel, you know, like other people that have been to beautiful beaches, and they come and they're like, okay, let's go to Galveston. They're like, oh, where have you taken me, you know? Anyway, it's, the Pandy version of the beach. All right. So we had gone on that trip. It was fine. But I did find, like, coming back from the trip, I am an introvert, so I like being in my house. But I did find that forcing myself to get out and go stay somewhere else was, like, super life-giving for me.
Yes.
And so we had an opportunity. Some friends were like, hey, we're part of this timeshare thing. If you guys come with us, you get this super great deal on staying in a little condo. And so we were going to go to New Braunfels in Texas and go float the river. And I did that all the time growing up, and I have so many great memories. So I was like, yes, that sounds awesome.
Tell our listeners, because some people, I mean, if you're raised in a bubble like me, you may not understand this. What is floating the river?
Oh, well, thanks for asking. So when you float the river, pre-corona, you just show up at the river, and there's these tube rental companies, and you pull up in the parking lot, you pay them money, they hand you a tube, and then you just float down the river.
It's a river that just is unending. You just float and float.
Well, then when you get to the end of their little float area, which is usually several hours long, and there's little rapids.
Several hours?
Oh, it's fantastic. These rivers it's like the Schlitterbahn water. This is all very Texas regional. So if you're not from around here, I'm sorry. We'll explain all this in the show notes. But it's the Comal and the Guadalupe and stuff. So it's this cold, clear, wonderful water. And so there's a long time where you're just floating, and there's times where you go through little rapids.
Ooh, Texas
and
rapids.
There's rope swings. You can jump off the side. And I don't know.
I heard those were death traps.
You heard that from our vibe curator. She had a different experience.
Mm-hmm. Okay, but if you floated the river for several hours, you are very far from your car. I'm confused as to how you get back.
Okay, so the little company that you paid to borrow the tube from, when you get to the end of the river, they have shuttles.
Oh.
And they pick you up, and then they take you back to your car.
Okay, in a time of corona, I don't feel like that is safe.
No, none of it happens. It's all shut down. It's all done. Nope, none of it. All done. So you have this beautiful idea of these beautiful childhood memories of floating the river, and you think, oh, let's do that.
Come on, it's outside
the
in nature.
River is COVID free.
Yes.
You know, this is going to be fantastic. So we start doing a little research. Well, when we had the new flare up in Texas, because I guess people are just like licking shopping carts. I don't know what y'all are doing. Stop. But we have this huge COVID flare up. So then the governor makes the river shut. He shuts down the rivers.
I do remember that.
So they're all public entrance to the rivers are shut down. Because truly, sometimes in the summer, those rivers will be packed with people, tubes on tubes on tubes. I don't like that.
Spitting on each other.
Yeah, that would be my worst nightmare.
Licking tubes.
Yeah. No. I want to go like on a Monday morning when all the college kids are still asleep.
That's right.
You know?
From their party Sunday night.
Right. So by the time they get on the river at 4, I'm out, you know? All right. So anyway, we think this is going to be a great idea. So then you can't just like get on the river anywhere. And then you have to bring your own tubes because they can't rent you
BYOT.
tubes. Okay. Well, everybody knows this is true. So there are no tubes to be found in America.
It's like toilet paper.
It
They scooped them all up.
Very much like toilet paper. And if you do find a tube, like literally you could pay $60 for an inner tube that costs $15.
That's ridiculous.
Yes.
You can't sell that again. Well, maybe you could sell it again for $60 because somebody else
Don't you know?
wants it.
Don't you know? So anyway, all that to say, we end up finding tubes. We find out that there is a company that we can pay if, because we're going with this other family. So we have 2 vans. And they will let us.
Is it a minivan? Not
yes.
a Suburban?
No. Now, Rebecca, you still prepare yourself for this. You still have to pay $20 per person.
To do what?
To float?
To walk on the bank of the river and get in the water?
To float the river with no tube service, no shuttle service.
That is like capitalism at its finest,
at
right?
its finest.
Get you some money.
And I want to hate on it, but I'm also like, good for
Smart.
you.
It's like those people that like when a concert comes, they like open up their yard for a parking lot. And
Yes.
They charge $10 a car and they're like so rich. You're
Yes.
like, why did I think of that?
Because you like, if you miss this opportunity, then you dumb.
Yes.
Okay, so they're capitalizing on it. That's capitalism. We're okay with it. You know. All right.
Make your money.
So anyway, we park one of the family's vans at the end of the ride.
So smart.
We all illegally pile into the first van and go to the first parking lot.
Okay.
Then think about this. We have 10 people and you can't have all aired up tubes with 10 people in one van illegally.
They wouldn't fit.
So you have to have the deflated inner tubes. You inflate them. You inflate them at the river. Thankfully, this company did have air compressors. So we inflate all the things. We get on the river. Okay. So we're going along and we're like, oh, this water feels good. We did it.
How do you stay together? How do you keep all the tubes together?
Your
You
tubes
just like
have-
float off from each other.
Your tubes have little ropes, or you can like
Oh.
hook your foot over somebody's tube, or you like grab
For 3
a hand.
hours, you want me to keep my foot hooked over your tube? No. Can't do
You
that.
are missing out on the experience. We are spending way too much time having to
There
deep
is
dive.
some mama out there that's like with me on this. She's like, girl, I'm like thinking the question and you're asking.
Okay, well, for others, maybe this is a good learning in this is a fun thing to do. This is how you do it. I'm hoping that this wasn't just like 10 minutes of wasted nonsense. All right. So we're floating along. Everything's happy. We're all connected. We have our tubes inflated. We're going along well. So the other family that we were with, the guy waves at us because he's just a little like, I don't know, 100 yards down or something. And he waves and he goes, hey, bro. He's looking at Jeremy and he said, we got a problem. And Jeremy's like, what, man? And he said, my van keys are in your van.
You are kidding. He didn't remember to bring his keys?
He had left them, and he said his thought process was, oh, this is cool. I can just leave my keys in his van. We were the starting car.
Oh, my goodness.
So we
have to walk.
our keys. So we're only like 20 minutes into this float and it's moving along slowly. So before I know it, Jeremy has jumped out of his tube.
No.
He's swimming up the river.
No.
He swims up the river. He goes to our van.
He does not.
He gets the other car keys out. And then we had this little Ziploc bag that our keys were in. Well, it was leaking. So he runs up to this store.
I feel like this is a movie right now. Like I almost can't even. It's almost like, you know, like in movies, you're like, how do they have enough time to have a whole conversation on a bridge? It's like that. Jeremy's like doing all these things in a matter of mere
Brace
seconds.
yourself because it's going to continue to unravel. Okay. So Jeremy buys this like waterproof pouch thing. Jeremy is my husband. I think I said that.
Yes,
Hopefully we know
yes,
that. Okay. So he's gone forever. We go through these rapids and stuff.
Are you holding his tube?
Yes.
Got your
and
foot hooked on it.
yeah,
How you feeling now?
and not great. Not. I'm starting to get like also concerned. Like, are we ever going to see him again?
Never gonna
you
see
know.
him again.
So the other dude that we're with jumps out of the river and like walks
be
up the
jumping
bank to go find him.
And now it's just women and children. Y'all hear me? Women and
You know,
children.
looking back
in
on
the
it,
river.
they might have planned that where they're just like, hey, we're just going to have a minute.
Oh my goodness.
That's what I'm doing next time. This is good strategy. So anyway, they eventually show back up.
He finds Jeremy. He finds the waterproof bag.
Yes.
Finds the keys.
They come down. We're like, yay, we found y'all. We think that is going to be the only major catastrophe of the day. Okay. Dun, dun, dun.
I feel like there's more.
There's more. So then we're going down the river, and these floats that we had gotten, somebody loaned them to us. And so one of them is this like cooler float, which turns out to be the perfect float for my little Caroline, who's 4, because it has a bottom
She's the
in
size
it.
of a cooler.
Yes. And so we threw our phones are waterproof. We threw them in there. The key, the bag floaty key is in there. Our cups are all in there, you know, stuff like that. All right.
In the tube with Caroline.
Yeah, because she's just chilling.
Oh, no.
It has a bottom.
Okay, my red flags are
Listen,
going off.
For good reason.
Off.
For good reason.
Besides the fact that I never believe when they say your phone is waterproof. Never.
I know, right?
I'm not believing that.
No, I don't ever believe it either. No, I'm with you. So she's doing great. Caroline was super chill. She sat there the whole time. Then we start coming up to these rapids. And God, we were talking for a really long time about this story. Gosh, you guys, we should have edited this. I'm going to go quickly.
No.
We start coming up to these rapids. And Caroline wants to get in the float with me because she's getting a little nervous. And so one of the little girls from the other family wants to sit in Caroline's cooler float. So we're like, okay, sure, because it's all connected to us. So she swims over, she jumps in that. So we go down the rapids. There's these huge rapids, there's rushing water and everything. We get through the rapids, and then we see that the little girl that's sitting in Caroline's float, she has let her tube go, and it's getting away from us. And so we're like, hey, go get your tube. She stands up in the thing Caroline was floating in and jumps out. When she does, that cooler float flips over, and down go both phones.
All the important stuff.
The keys,
No.
the water bottles, everything.
No.
And I'm like, Jeremy, grab the stuff. So he grabs the bag with the keys in it, and he feels so accomplished. I look at his face, and I could see that he felt good. And I said, oh, and he said, I got everything. And I said, you did? And I was like, that's awesome. And I said, where's the phones? And he goes, the phones.
They are at the bottom of the river.
We both start hyperventilating, and there's rapids rushing everywhere, and it's like, oh my gosh, what are we even doing here?
And the small child is swimming towards the tube that's floating off.
Yes. And she realizes the phones are gone, and we're all just kind of freaking out. There's rapids. Jeremy's like, Kate, the phones are gone. We can't look for them.
Don't say that to me, husband.
He
said my life is in that phone.
It's just mass chaos everywhere, right? It's just the rapids are rushing by. We're trying to keep a hold of all of our kids and their tubes, and it's just chaos. And I said, babe, can we just pull over? Can we just try to get to the shore for a second and think about this? And he said, okay. And so as we did, we pulled over to the shore, and I said, please, can we have time? Can we try? Can we just try and go and look? And he said, okay.
Are you crying yet? Are there tears?
I felt very stressed. There were no tears because I thought, it's just a phone, but they're expensive.
Yes, they are.
Yeah. That ain't nothing on the $20 per person fee on the river. So we start.
So we ain't giving our money to Apple for this.
Yes. So we're feeling like this is a lost cause, but it would be stupid just to keep going and not even try, But so we have to come over the side, and then we have to walk up the bank to get back around to the rapids because you can't swim up in the rapids.
So you're going to have to go down the rapids again?
Basically, yes. But as soon as we get up on the bank, here's the whole point of all of this nonsense that I've been telling you. As soon as you get up on the bank, you look down through the clear water, and you can see the bottom. You can see.
All the way?
Yes. And my phone cover is white. My phone is white.
Uh-huh.
And so the other family that was with us, he reached down and he grabbed my phone up out of the rapids because you can see it because the water is clear. When you are up, not in the middle of the chaos, when you get up on top of the bank where it's still, and you have that
is amazing.
Bird's eye view. And so then we get down in the water, and somebody that's swimming by has like scuba gear and gives us these awesome goggles, and we find Jeremy's phone too.
No way.
Yes. Okay. Then, just like you just said, I was 100% certain that these phones were never going to work again. Right?
Right. They're not that waterproof.
No. Friend, both phones work perfectly. That's the phone I've been talking to you on. Like, the phone.
Shout out to technology. Come on, people.
Yes. Isn't that amazing?
The magic bullet.
Yes.
Waterproof phones.
But that story, as soon as we had kind of finished that time, I honestly remember going down the river and hearing God say to me, this is the Pandy.
Does God use that word?
He does. He likes Pandy. He's adopted it. But this is what you guys are in the middle of right now. This is what you're in the middle of.
The chaos.
You are in the middle of the chaos.
Yes.
And it feels like everything's lost. You can't figure out where you're going. There's these rapids, and you don't know what to do. But Kate, I am not in the middle of that chaos. I am up above all of this, and I can look down and I can see exactly what's going on.
Wow.
And if you will trust me, I will lead you through it. Like I cannot even, it was just like, I heard him say to me,
Jesus floats the river.
Yes. And I just thought that was so amazing. And here's what I've been thinking about. I've been thinking about these stupid decisions we made getting into the river, looking back on it, and like even you heard me telling the story and you're like, well, that was stupid. You don't stick your phones in a cooler like
with a small child.
Right. There's red flags all over the place. But honestly, here's what I think is part of what's going on in our world right now. I think we have decision fatigue.
For sure.
And
too much.
So we're just doing stupid things.
Yes.
Because we can't even like process a clear thought.
Yes.
And I hadn't talked with anybody else about this, but like leading up to this, recording today, I was curious about this. So I Googled COVID decision fatigue. And Becca, there are pages and pages and pages of articles talking about this.
Because people are just done. They just don't have the mental energy anymore.
There is already scholarly research about pandemic decision fatigue. It's just like, because we are all in it.
Yes.
Because nothing is on autopilot anymore. Think about it. You can't just go to the grocery store. If you're going to go to the grocery store, you have to think strategically about how all that's going to get done.
Right.
It's not like a recreational thing anymore. Right?
Right.
You have to go. You have to think about, do I have my mask? Do I have my hand sanitizer? When you walk up to the cart, has this cart been cleaned? When you're walking down the aisles, am I giving people enough space? When you go to check out, am I keeping 6 feet of distance?
Do they even have the things I need? Because they're out of all the randomness.
Ma'am. When you go to pay, am I touching something I shouldn't
You don't
be?
get coins back.
They ain't
giving me all my money back.
Right? So trying to talk to the checker, they have a mask. Everything is different.
Yes.
Think about it.
That's so true.
Everything we do is different, and we are having decision fatigue, and it just feels like too much. It just feels like too much. And I feel like I keep catching myself doing dumb things because I'm trying to keep going or like regain pace of life. And there's not enough margin for that.
No.
Because I have to build in space for this tired brain that I have.
Yes.
I have decision fatigue.
Well, and to recognize that other people have it too, because I think it's easy for us to look at other people and go, like me, you did what?
Yes.
On the river?
Yes.
But it's like we're all in the middle of this. So we got to show some grace for our friends.
We do. I mean, even just this week we came home and our air conditioning wasn't working properly. And so my husband we knew this was coming. So he ordered like that special tape and this putty to seal the ducts. And so I had told him when we got back, I said, hey, can you go up there and check it? Well, I am blaming this on COVID decision fatigue. So he gets up Saturday morning and he goes up in the attic and he starts sealing everything. Then he comes down and tells me we can't turn on the air conditioner for 24 hours. We're in the middle of a heat advisory.
I'm sorry.
No, it's 112 degrees outside.
Pete Delkus just told me it's going to be 115 today. Did you watch the news? Because I did.
That's right.
How are we going to do this?
Yes. And you just want to go, oh, yoy. We did not think this through. Yoy. And then the smart move would have probably just been to get a hotel room. Instead, Dumb and Dumber, go buy a cooler. What is it called?
Cooling fan?
Yeah, that has like kind of an air conditioning.
That's an hour and a half away because you couldn't find one here in town?
Yes, and we decided to try and sleep in our house in 85 degrees. And last night we were laying down, this just happened obviously yesterday, we were laying down on the floor with all of our kids in the room with this cooling thing in front of us. And Jeremy looked at me and he said, this is the stupidest thing we have ever done. The stupidest thing we have ever done. And I honestly,
did you say it's because of the Pandy?
It really, I really think we just have COVID decision fatigue.
Yes.
So, I thought about what does this have to do with anything? How does this matter?
You said, I really need to have a point for
this. Is there a
this.
Spiritual meaning here? And I really think there is.
Oh, yes.
I thought
the Lord gave it to you on the river. Come
he
on.
did. I think it matters. I think he allowed us to find those phones so I could remember.
Yes.
Yes. But I thought about David from the Bible. And David, we read about him in 1 Samuel, and he's told he's going to be king, but that doesn't happen for a long time. And he serves under Saul, and he does really well in the army and winning battles, and Saul gets jealous of him. So Saul wants to try and kill him. And do you know for how long Saul was potentially trying to kill David? Do you have any idea?
No idea.
It is somewhere between 4 to 7 years.
Oh my goodness. I had no idea it was that long.
Right?
David's like, dude, I've been waiting all this time to be king, and now you're going to try and kill me for the next 5 years?
Right. And so he's in survival mode for all of that time. And he's living in caves, and he's going from area to area, trying to figure out how to keep himself alive. There's nothing consistent in his life. It is his Pandy. Seriously, I'm so serious. That is what he was living in the middle of just this like craziness of not knowing how his life was going to be from one day to the next. And so one of the things I love, I'm so thankful for people who study the Bible, aren't you?
I am too.
That can tell us things.
But I feel like they could really use our help on this because they need to incorporate Pandy in there because I feel like it's a part.
No, we definitely need to be Bible contributors at
sure.
some point.
For sure.
Yes. But since we haven't done that yet, I'm thankful that there are scholars.
We have a podcast to do that.
What they have done is they're able to look at periods of David's life and say, these are the Psalms that he wrote during this period.
I think that's amazing that
Isn't
they can
that-
do that. Yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, is it true? I don't know.
I
I
don't
feel
know.
pretty good about it.
You know, it's like our last episode when we were trying to say that Paul was an extrovert. We don't really know. We just like thinking maybe.
No, this is not something that is going to mess with your salvation. So we're okay with riffing about it a little bit. So I wanted to read to you. This is Psalm 18. And David supposedly wrote this when he was hiding in one of the caves from Saul. And I'm only going to read you a few excerpts because the psalm is really it's long. But man, if you are feeling defeated and you need a little pick me up, like that locker room song, Jeremy, he has these certain
Not
songs.
all of us got to make the team and be in the locker room.
Well,
I'm
he
just
has
saying.
these certain songs that come on and he's like, this just amps me, I feel like this could be your locker room song. So let me tell you what David says. In Psalm 18, he says, I love you, O Lord, my strength. The Lord is my rock and my fortress and my deliverer, my God, my rock, in whom I take refuge, my shield and the horn of my salvation, my stronghold. I call upon the Lord, who is worthy to be praised. I am saved from my enemies. He sent from on high. He took me. He drew me out of many waters. My enemies confronted me in the day of my calamity, but the Lord was my support. He brought me out into a broad place. He rescued me because he delighted in me.
That is gorgeous.
Isn't that so good?
Gorgeous. Yes.
And when I think about David writing those words, being in such a similar situation to what we're going through right now, and I especially loved when I read this and it said, he sent from on high, he took me, he drew me out of many waters. It's like I picture God standing there on the shore with us in the middle of these rapids, and it just feels like confusion and loss and desperation, and we don't know what's happening, and he can see exactly what's happening, and he can draw us out.
That's amazing.
Of all of that craziness.
I love too that it said he brought me out into a broad place.
A broad place.
It feels very like confined right now. It feels very much like we are in this place where everything is restricted, where you go, what you take with you, what you can do, how safe you feel. And so I just, for me to think that God's going to bring us back out in that broad place one day where we really
Right?
can. I mean, it sounds crazy to think we can go out of our house and do things that we never got to do or not wear a mask.
Yeah.
But the idea that God is like, I can see that.
Yes.
I can see from the bank. I can see that.
There you go.
There is no shadow over my eyes. I know what's coming.
Right. Gosh, that's so good. So with our one thing, what do you feel like that's your one thing? What would be your thing that you take away from this?
Mine is grace. Because of this decision fatigue, I just think you have to look at each other with such compassion and grace right now. Because everybody is functioning in this place where they really are mentally exhausted.
Yeah.
They are trying to do the best they can. I mean, I really believe that people want the best for their families and their kids, especially as mamas. We are trying our hardest.
Yeah.
And sometimes we're going to make the wrong choice. We're in the chaos. We're in the rapids. We can't see it all.
Right.
And so if we could just show each other a lot of grace right now and just, man, girl, I get it. Mama, I get it. It's hard. I'm tired. You're doing the best that you can. I want to give that grace and compassion to other people.
I love that. And hearing you say that makes me, my one thing is to give grace to myself.
Oh, that's good.
Because I'm making mistakes, and I am a person who does not like to make mistakes.
Right.
Yes. I don't. Perfection is, unfortunately, that's what I'm often striving for. And this is a time where that's not possible.
No.
It should never be my goal, but it's especially apparent right now. And I think just giving myself a lot of grace, it's easier for me to give it to other people, but to give it for myself, And
to know, I think sometimes we think that our children are looking at us with the same judgment that other moms do.
Uh-huh.
My kids they don't know.
No.
They really believe that I am trying, you
Yeah.
know, and they're not, they're not picking apart my decision making for the day or how things are going.
Yeah.
And so bless their sweet hearts that just love their moms, you
Yes.
know, and just wrap us in a hug every night and say it was the best day ever.
Yes.
You know, just to
Yes.
trust that we have kiddos that adore us.
That's right. Yeah. Yes. So, yeah, lots of grace. I love that as our one thing. In this season of mental fatigue, in this season of rapids, that we would call out to the Lord. We know He's got us, and just rest in that cushion of grace all around.
So true.
Well, moms, thank you so much for joining us. We just love that you're here. From the bottom of our hearts, we love it.
From the bottom of the Comal River.
Yes.
Where Kate's phone was.
Where my phone was. We love you that much. Yes. Hey, don't forget to subscribe so that you don't miss an episode. And we hope that you would stay connected with us. You can find me, Kate, at Kate Henderson on Instagram. And Rebecca is
At the Rebecca Bradford on Instagram.
That's right. Okay, moms, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.